I would have to look at the cost of bringing litigation. If it's going to cost us $70,000, it defeats the purpose. I think that, like John said, I think that the county and the prosecutor will investigate it, and again, I would vote on it if it didn't cost the taxpayers any more money.
Pat Tully, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to both of you for giving us the opportunity to listen to you. I think it's very helpful, and I think we should actually do this at all elections. I was actually leaning towards voting for Mr. Hennessey until I observed for a while the group over there in the corner that came in, and now I'm seriously reconsidering my vote, but still being undecided. My question is to Mr. Parnofiello. We are, I think it's clear to anybody that we are, this town and a lot of municipalities are on course for a fiscal train wreck. And it's going to take a lot of hard decisions, and some unpleasant things are going to have to happen to get the house in order. So my question to you is, you cited your time on the freeholder group as being critical to why we should consider voting for you. And when I look at my tax bill, the tax increase related to the county has been the highest percentage increase over the last couple of years. So as an undecided voter, what would you say to convince me that, that behavior would change and we can actually look at going, in a different direction with reducing taxes in front of
The behavior as it regards to the county?
No, as far as being part of the Board of Chosen Freeholders. And
Well, I'm not elected.
no, I understand. But you're obviously, yeah. And I mean, the experience there, is something that you cited as part of why we should consider voting for you. So as an undecided voter, the trajectory on the county taxes going this way, it's clearly got to change in our town going the other way. So how would you instill some confidence that you could actually make those hard decisions?
Well, like I had cited earlier, and I thank you for your question. The taxes is an issue in Rutherford on a year-by-year basis. Without the amount of space that other towns in the area have for commercial and industrial area, we have to constantly be, looking conservative, in Rutherford and making sure that our services are maintained, but in a cost-effective way. So one of the answers, one of the suggestions I would say is, as I had said previously, we need to meet with every department and go home through the budget on almost a line-by-line basis. Say, hey, what are ways that we can improve each department, without having to, say, oh, right, we have to lay people over, oh, we have to furlough. Let's see if there's ways first within the department and trust the professionals in each department to say, yeah, well, maybe we can, get into an agreement with another borough and share some services that way. Or, here's another way of saving some money. So we need to go department by department and say, maybe there's some fat here that we can cut. Because, in Rutherford, we know this. I pay taxes here. I don't want to pay any more taxes than I have to. And I'm sure everybody in this room can agree with that. But, we face, a difficult circumstance. But we need to go department by department and say, what can we do to make ourselves more efficient, to have some strategic planning and treat it as a business, and say, this is how we have to handle things. And that also affects on a long-term basis. You don't want to say, okay, we're gonna lay these people off. What if in 5 years you say, well, remember all those employees that we had? Well, now we kind of need them. So now your tax is going to go up in 5 years, but right now we're just, saving face. I'm not going to be here to save face. I'm indebted to this community. I'm a taxpayer. I want to raise a family here. I want to make long-term decisions. I want to get the downtown more efficient. I want to keep our properties assessed at a reasonable rate so that our tax appeals don't kill us on a year-by-year basis. Those are all ways that we can help the burden on the tax. So those are some ideas that I have.
Can I answer the question? Sir, what is your name?
Pat Tully?
Pat Tully. Thanks for coming, Mr. Tully. That group that was back there, they're from a college. They have nothing to do with me. They're science people, so I didn't ask them to come. So if they weren't behaving right, that has nothing to do with me. On a second note, I think county government is too big. I think state government is too big. And I think that they have to, when I was the assistant public safety director, and we did away with the county police, I told them, I said, listen, I said, your department is not going to last if you keep spending the money that you're spending and you keep growing. You used to have a police chief, then you had 2 inspectors when you didn't have any, and we had, it was just gloomy. Then they did away with that department. But to answer your question, we shouldn't have duplicate services, and that's what we have. And county government has to shrink instead of growing.
Locally, I think what people want to know is if you are elected March 9th, are you going to vote for a budget this year if it includes a tax raise on the budget? If there's a budget and it has, and taxes are higher, would you vote yes, would you vote no?
Well, again, I think it's a little premature to say. I don't know what the increase would be quite yet. I think we have a lot of work to do between now and then to try to make up the gap. And right now we're not really dealing with exact numbers, so as the numbers go along, we might be dealing with a different circumstance in a few weeks. So I really, I can't say that I would vote yes or I would vote no, but in this day and age, it's almost impossible not to see at least minimal increase. So that's just a fact of reality.
Well, like John said, we got to look at everything. I mean, I do not want a tax increase. I don't want to pay any more taxes. I mean, it's just, I think that, like I said earlier, people are losing their homes. People cannot afford to have another tax increase. But we're losing ratables in this town. People are doing tax appeals, which they have every right to do. We have to get revenue someplace else. And I can't say that I would raise taxes or I weren't. Would not raise taxes. Most likely, if it wouldn't hurt Rutherford, I wouldn't raise taxes. I don't want to raise taxes. I don't want to pay any more taxes, and I don't think anybody else in this room wants to pay any more taxes.
Let's go to a question from the mic. Councilman John Hennessey, thanks for coming.
For the record, Councilman John Hennessey, Borough of Rutherford. I wasn't going to say anything tonight, but everybody keeps talking about being business orientated, and we need to develop our businesses here in town. So, and I heard, in fairness, thank you to both gentlemen for being here, but both gentlemen voted up, so I wanted to ask you. I happen to be pro-business. I'm conservative. I believe in those aspects of community that there's a certain amount of benefit to the community with commercial properties being valued more. Being that you both brought it up, there's a very delicate balance when you do a budget between commercial taxes and residential property taxes. The hope is that you lessen the burden on the residential, increase the value and the burden on the commercial, thus benefiting your residents. You both brought it up, so in all fairness, do you both really understand that relationship, that the ebb and flow, that delicate balance between the two? And do you understand the impact on the budget that it has? And being that you are both supporters of commercial businesses that you presented, what are you going to do to foster that, thus adding or diminishing to that balance between the two?